Am I comprehending everything that I'm reading? Yes. Am I retaining it? Not always, not so much. Hi everyone, how are you? My name is Michaela. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel. I was thinking the other day how much I've changed as a reader, how much I've grown, how much I've stepped out of my comfort zone, and just the trajectory of my reading experience and reading journey as an adult. It's been really cool to reflect on and to look back on. I'd say I picked up reading again back in 2022, yeah, that sounds right. Maybe 2021, 2022 is when I kind of got back into reading, but 2024 was my first year as an avid reader. I have completed my reading goal. I finished it back in November. I'm really proud of myself. Upon reflection, I realized that my goals as a reader have changed drastically. I think that's a good thing. I think that changing your goals and changing your vision for yourself is a very helpful thing to do to just make sure that you're continuing to develop. Even if it's worked in the past, that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to keep doing it the exact same way. So with that being said, today I'm excited to share with you my 2026 reading goals. Let's just get into them, shall we? The first goal may come as a shock to you, but my goal is to read less. Let me elaborate. When I say read less, I don't necessarily mean read less books or read fewer hours in the day or whatever. That's not what I mean. I mean more of slowing down with my reading, specifically taking breaks in between books. I've fallen into the habit of reading a book, finishing that book, and not letting more than 12 hours go by before I pick up another book. And we joke about it, and it's funny and it's quirky and it's cute, but also it's not. It's not necessarily that I want to read fewer books. I feel like I'm in my sweet spot, my comfort zone of anywhere from 4 to 7 books a month tends to be what I read in a month. But I definitely need to slow down. Just let the book marinate. Let the feelings be fully felt before I jump into another world and another story. Ultimately, it's a disservice to the author and the book that I just read and to myself, because I'm not going to absorb and grasp onto all of the lessons that this book may be able to teach me. To be more specific about this, my goal is to let a day go by, a full day, a full 24 hours if possible, before I pick up another book. No more jumping straight into fantasy world, into another fantasy world. I need to breathe. I've talked about this a lot recently on YouTube of just wanting to shift into a more intentional reader. I want to milk every single thing I can get out of a book. I want to feel different after I read a book. I want to feel changed in some way. Even if I hated the book, I want to step away from it with a stronger grasp on the world or myself, or even just as simple as the books that I do and don't like. I'm not a fast reader by any means. I'm not a speed reader at all. I just get overeager. I get so excited because there are so many books in the world, so many books that I want to read. And as soon as I put one down, I'm like, that was great. Next. That is a habit and a mindset shift that I want to make. And I'm really excited to see what that does to the reading experience and also my comprehension, my reading comprehension and my reading retention. Am I comprehending everything that I'm reading? Yes. Am I retaining it? Not always, not so much. I sometimes have a hard time retaining things that I've just recently read, and that's not cute. That is not cute. That's not the point of reading for me. My second goal is to read what I want, not just what's popular. Already kind of made this shift this year, but I'm still very much influenced by the viral books out there, the Booktok books, everything that I'm seeing on my For You page over and over and over again. It's at the top of my head, of course, because I'm seeing it 24/7, but I don't usually take the time to stop and think if this is a book that I'm interested in, or if I'm reading it so that I can see what the hype is about, or because I have FOMO of everyone else doing their reading vlogs. So next year, I just want to be more intentional. Again, that word intentional, I think, is going to be my word for 2026 all around, but especially in my reading journey. I just want to be more intentional about the books that I'm choosing and seeing if it's something that I think I would like, something that I'm interested in, or if it's just popular. One of the ways that I'm excited to explore that and to practice that is by blind shopping, I guess you can call it. Basically just going into the bookstore, completely throwing out my TBR, completely throwing out the books that are at the top of the TikTok For You page and just seeing what calls out to me, seeing what covers draw me in, what titles draw me in, seeing what premises are really interesting and intriguing to me. I have a stronger grasp on my book taste, on what I like and dislike, what I look for, and what tends to resonate with me. But I do think I would have an even better understanding of my book taste if I stopped listening to other people's opinions so much. And it's hard because I'm a part of the bookish community and I love hearing people's book recs. I love knowing what everyone else is reading about. And I also love the sense of community that it brings. It feels like a buddy read with a million other people. I'm not saying that I'm gonna completely disregard every book recommendation I get and not read any of the popular books. I'm just saying I want to mix in a little bit more of lesser known books. And then also that keeps things really fresh for you guys so that I'm not recommending the same 5 books that you've seen every other creator recommend. I'm really excited to explore that habit. I think it's going to elevate my reading experience and elevate the content that I'm creating for you. My next goal is to diversify my reading. I feel like I do an okay job of it, but honestly, I could definitely do better. When I say diversify, I specifically mean more queer and BIPOC authors and stories. I do already read books by Black authors. However, when I look at my bookshelf, it's just not quite as diverse as I would like it to be. So if you could do me a favor and please comment down below any book recommendations centered around queer characters or BIPOC characters, because I trust you guys, okay? I trust you. I trust your book taste. My next goal is to utilize my library more. I definitely make use of Libby. I'm always on Libby. I would say like 50 to 60% of the books that I read are coming from Libby. So yes, I am kind of contributing to my library system, but I just feel like there's something special about going in person, checking out books in person, and also there's so many other resources at the library and special events and volunteer opportunities and just so many ways to get involved and give back to my community while at the same time taking all of the resources that are there for me. We will go to the library very soon. My next goal is kind of along the lines of the first, being to slow down and be more intentional about my reading, but more specifically, I want to take notes and annotate. In the past, I haven't been a big annotator, mostly because I do feel like it slows me down a little bit, and sometimes I feel like that can break up the plot in the reading a little bit too much to where it interferes with my reading experience. However, I do know that I would retain so much more information if I was taking notes. I showed you guys this in my birthday bookstore vlog, but this is my new reading journal. I just picked it up from TJ Maxx. I have so many ideas for different types of spreads and sections for this book. There will be a video coming on creating and setting up my reading journal for the first ever time. I'm so excited. I also recently got this new set of highlighters. Got some really pretty pastel colors in there. I'm using 2 of them right now to annotate If Beale Street Could Talk. I still need little tabs to put on the outsides of the books. I feel like it's a really good way to kind of leave my mark, and then if I ever do a reread, I get to see what resonated with me right now. I get to see maybe what I looked past the first read. I get to make other types of connections. We know reading is extremely subjective, and we talk about that a lot in a sense from my opinion may differ from someone else's, but my opinion might also differ from myself in 5 years, or myself 5 years ago, or myself in 20 years. And so it's really exciting knowing that I am making my little mark on this book, and it kind of signifies where I am in life right now. And then when I look back or when I pass it on to friends or whatever may be, they'll be able to see the ways that this book connected with me. I think that annotating is going to be my thing, and I think it's going to help me slow down as well. Connecting back to my first goal, it's just going to force me to literally slow down. I will need to pause to be able to get out my highlighter and make sure that I'm highlighting it straight. Naturally, I will be rereading the passage that I'm highlighting, and so I've already noticed certain things that are clicking and holding on instead of clicking and going out the other ear. My last goal is to give clearer, more thoughtful, and fleshed out reviews. There's currently a lot of discourse around the death of critical thinking and the ways that Booktok, the publishing industry, and just our culture in general are kind of all feeding off of each other, and whether or not it's detrimental or helpful in the grand scheme of things. I do see this trend of quick, to the point, hyperbolic reviews. They don't leave any room for discrepancies or nuance or bigger conversations, which to me is the beauty of reading, is that we can have these longer drawn out discussions. I don't think it's necessarily the fact that people are dumber or readers are dumber or anything like that. I feel like it's mostly social media. It is so hard to grasp someone's attention, hook them, keep them there long enough to give how you feel about a whole book. So yes, our attention spans are much, much shorter. While I don't see it changing fully, because it's the nature of our world at this point, everything is so fast paced. I do want to be part of the solution, I guess you could say. I can't think of a better word for it. Just giving more thoughtful reviews, I think, will again elevate my experience as a reader and again help me retain the information a little bit better, but then also portray what I loved about the book or what I hated about the book to you. You know what? I did forget to mention my actual reading goal is in the number of books, because I still have a goal. I think it's important to still have a numerical, attainable goal. For 2025, my reading goal, I think, was either 60 or 64 books. I'm currently at 61 books finished, and I think I'm on track to finish 64. But keeping in mind that one of my biggest goals is to slow down and be more intentional, I think I'm gonna drop that number down to 50 books. And I still like the ratio that I've been doing of nonfiction to fiction. So I'm gonna keep that up, of finishing maybe 1 to 2 nonfiction books a month. 50 feels right for me. I will let you know if that changes. That is it for me for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please leave me a like, and then also comment down below your reading goal for the year, whether that's a number of books you want to read or a more inner mental goal. Just let me know. I make videos here all about books, wellness, lifestyle, and all other creative endeavors. So if that sounds like something you'd enjoy, be sure to subscribe. And until next time, take care of yourself, take care of your heart, and I'll see you soon.